Bag of goodies for workers as government increases minimum wage by 5%. Barring the Hatchet, Raila brings to an end resistance of government-inclined products. The push and pull revolving around constitutional changes, we delve deeper. And in sports, Gor Mahia outclassed Sofapaka in Mashemeji Derby. Good evening. For those who have just joined us, this is KUTV News at 8. Remember, you can catch us live on Facebook at the page KUTV Kenya. Now on to a main story tonight. The government's directive to increase worker salaries may remain to be an idea on paper with zero implementation if the Ministry of Public Service doesn't follow up on the issues. This is after it emerged that the previous year's salary increment by 18% has not yet been implemented by several employers.
Workers will have a reason to smile all the way to banks should the government's directive of increasing workers' salary by 5% be taken up by relevant authorities.
With regard to workers' contribution for their retirement through the National Social Security Fund, the fund recorded growth in membership from 2.7 million in April 2017 to 2.5 million in March 2018, and overall value moved from 180 billion to 211 billion during the same period. These are very encouraging trends. However, more needs to be done to streamline the fund's governance and investment policies. The government continues to enhance the implementation of social protection programs.
Students too will benefit from the Labour Day deliberations as the Labour Union KUTV announces its readiness to support acquisition of NHIF cards by students.
Honourable Minister, KUTV supports the government's move to offer free maternity care as well as universal health care cover, and secondary going children through NHIF. And we will support NHIF management to make sure that those goals are attained.
Orange Democratic Movement leader, who is also the opposition's chief, Raila Odinga, differed with the rest of speakers who were pushing for salary increment and instead urged for diversing mechanism geared towards creating more jobs.
Tukipandisha mshahara hata kesho, watapandisha kodi ya nyumba, watapandisha nauli ya matatu, watapandisha bei ya unga, watapandisha karo ya shule na kadhalika. Kwa hivyo yale ambayo inatakikana ni kuangalia tunawezaje kurudisha nauli ya matatu chini, kodi ya nyumba turudishe chini.
If the relevant players take up the 5% salary increment, then workers in job group A to D who receive the lowest wages will walk away with a minimum of 12,130 Kenya shillings and a maximum of 15,014 Kenya shillings per month. Those in job group R who receive the biggest pie will be paid a minimum of 1.7 million shillings and a maximum of 2 million. Mid-income earners, including teachers and police officers in Job Group J, will earn a minimum of 36,395 and a maximum of 41,913 Kenya shillings. This comes even as employers, including industry owners, continue to urge the government to stop pushing for salary increments for junior staffs until the country fully recovers from the effects of 2017 elections that greatly affected business across the nation. Kelvin Ogome, KUTV.
Well, still on that note, today in his Labour Day address at Uhuru Park, opposition leader Raila Odinga now says supporters of the National Super Alliance NASA are free to use products boycotted after the disputed elections last year. He said Kenyans can now purchase Safaricom, Brookside, Bidco and Haku products for following the recent unity talks with President Uhuru Kenyatta. This follows the golden handshake that took place between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, a move that KUTV Secretary General Francis Atwoli has taken self-praise in putting together. Here's Ann Masharia with the story.
Appearing to speak on behalf of NASA, a coalition his core principals have said he's not party to since his handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Opposition leader Raila Odinga has announced an end to boycott of products for 4 companies that the NASA coalition claimed played a role in the last year hotly contested elections. NASA had listed giant telecommunication company Safaricom, Kenyatta family-owned Brooks Dairies, billionaire Chris Kirubi's Hako Industries, and leading cooking oil manufacturer Bidco as having supported the installation of what they said was an illegal and oppressive Jubilee regime. In his address, the NASA leader Raila Odinga urged the government to create a conducive business environment which will see the cost of living reduced instead of opting to raise the minimum wage. The boycott was launched in November after a protracted election crisis that saw Kenya become the first African country and only the 4th in the world to annul a presidential election. On his part, Francis Atwoli congratulated opposition leader Raila Odinga for agreeing to work together with President Uhuru Kenyatta. He also stated that the president does not need anyone else by his side. On matters mending bridges and uniting the country, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja appealed to President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga to include young people in their Unity Deal Committee.
91% ya Wakenya wako chini ya miaka 50. Kama kuna agenda ya kuleta Wakenya pamoja, haiwezekani bila kuhusisha vijana hapo ndani. Muliunda kamati na tulifurahi, lakini kwa hiyo kamati vijana wako wapi?
It remains to be seen if Raila Odinga Park's deal will have an impact on Deputy President William Ruto, who is eyeing to be the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. Ann Masharia, KUTV.
Over to politics now. KANU Secretary General Nick Salat has lashed out at Majority Leader Aden Duale following his attack on Baringo Senator Gideon Moi over the 2022 presidential contest. Salat, who is speaking in Kapchekor village, Baringo North, during the burial of Yano Singei, who is a politician, sent a warning to Duale over his remarks targeting Gideon Moi. Gideon Moi, also present in the event, steered off politics but urged leaders to stop fueling lies and propaganda against him.
Na kuna proposals mingi imetokea. Ho katiba hapa, ho katiba huko. I want to say they must be able to engage in this debate as a people, because we must be able to unite this country called Kenya to move forward, because that is the will of God in our lives. Rafiki yetu Mheshimiwa Duale. Hakuna mali sisi chama cha KANU na chama cha Jubilee tunagongana. Mami, yeye ako ndani ya chama yake ya Jubilee na wako na mti yao ya kuchukua ndani ya 2022. Sisi vile vile tuko na wetu na tunamchukua mpaka ndani ya 2022. Sasa makosa ni wapi na tutakutania raia? Wewe naanza kutaja majina ya watu, alizaliwa na nani, kwani ulikuwa unataka asaliwe na nani? Ati mtoto ya fulani. Lakini mimi naambia wewe Duale, wewe labda kama wewe ndio ungeomba hii kiti ingekuwa tofauti, lakini vile mimi naona
Well, it's called Kenyan politics. But anyway, moving on, Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko was on Monday blamed for working with goons who barred members of the business community in Nairobi from issuing a press conference concerning the state of the city. While addressing the public at Uhuru Park during the Labor Day celebrations today, Sonko said politics cannot make Nairobi better, adding that those criticizing him are evil-minded because they're inclined on blaming instead of giving solutions. Nairobi governor revealed he is bitter about unnecessary attacks from his political rivals over his inability to sanitize the city. The county chief has been recently facing strong criticism for failing to repair dilapidated roads and fixing the messy drainage system in Nairobi from members of the public and leaders equally.
Mashirika yote, stakeholders wote, waje tuungane pamoja, tuangalie hili swala la shida hizi za Nairobi tunalitatua namna gani. Nairobi si ya Sonko peke yake. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba watu wote, hii lawama ndogo ndogo ya watu kila saa Sonko wameshindwa na kazi, tuachane na hii siasa ya kishetani. Tupeleke mji wetu mbele. Nairobi is an international city. Siasa tulimaliza. Kwa hivyo mimi nitakomea tu hapo kwa leo. Niko na mingi sana na uchungu mwingi sana, lakini hiyo ni ya siku nyingine. Asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki nyote.
Well, we now cross over to Murang County, where residents continue living in fear after the surface developed eminent cracks and houses started sinking following the heavy rains that have hit the region. Kiharu Member of Parliament Dindi Nyoro say that he has already depleted CDF emergency funds of 5 million Kenya shillings and is now urging the government to move in with speed and assist the affected residents.
The resources that we are given as the local leaders can never be enough, because like CDF, we have depleted our emergency fund of 5 million. So we are calling upon the national government, kindly itushikilie pamoja na county government yetu, ndio hawa watu wote wako in danger zones tuhamishe na pia tuweze kurekebisha the damages that have been done.
Now, the Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Monica Juma is in Pakistan for bilateral talks. Juma met with the Pakistan Prime Minister Shahid Haqqan Abbasi, where they explored several areas that the cordial relationship between the two countries can be enhanced. Among her other engagements, Foreign Affairs CS Juma commissioned our Chancery and High Commissioner residence after meeting the Kenyan diaspora last evening. She's also scheduled to attend the Kenya-Pakistan Trade and Investment Conference to be held in Karachi on the 2nd to the 3rd of May 2018. This comes after the Pakistani Prime Minister met with President Uhuru Kenyatta at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting and promised to further discuss areas of collaboration.
Today, I had another milestone in commissioning our High Commission here, Chancery, and the residents, which have been under construction for a number of years now. We have a beautiful home for Kenya in Islamabad, and we are delighted that we were joined by Kenyans in Pakistan. Some of them came as far as Lahore.
Well, we now take a short break right here on KUTV News at 8. We'll be back